everybody, this is Perch. It's been a rough couple weeks here. So, if you've been listening, you probably hear a little difference in my voice. My voice sounds a little different. Well, reason behind that, as you may have heard from an earlier video, had a bit of an issue, I would say. Had some pneumonia. Pneumonia got worse. Pneumonia had got complications. Went to the hospital. Couldn't breathe. Many days went by, and basically screwed up my voice. So, we'll get it better. It will heal. Things will recover. A little bit of a lesson for me, and it's a lesson I'll kind of impart to all of you. You may not give a shit. I mean, this is a comic channel, so what the fuck are you doing here for medical advice? But a little bit of one bit of advice I can give you, which is advice that you will probably not pay attention to, but maybe it'll stick in your brain and you think about it for later life, is when you're prescribed medication, keep in mind the guy, whoever, the man, woman, whatever is prescribing you medication, may or may not know what the fuck they're doing. And so it's not the worst idea in the world to put the medication that you're prescribed into, old friend Google, and then just kind of look at what they're giving you. And so basically what happened to me is they prescribed a steroid and they prescribed an antibiotic. So there's two very common medications, Z-Pack, whatever. But it turns out the two particular medications prescribed to me were pretty extreme, pretty heavy. And those two medications are not meant to go together. So when you put them together, you get things like, accelerated heartbeat, potential, seizures, other things. It can really fuck you up. So that's what happened to me. I got two medications. Doctor said, do this and this, but you're not supposed to put those two medications together. And it caused a real pretty serious problem. So went to the hospital, caused a major issue. Now I'm recovering from it. Thankfully, life will go on, do okay. But, it is worth checking into the things you're taking. If you're putting something into your body, it's worth at least doing your own work to kind of figure out what's going on. And if something doesn't seem right to you, it's probably a good idea to say something, because basically what happened to me is my body was, taking this meds. And then one day, my body's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not putting up with this shit. And then things deteriorated. The thing that is always surprises you, and I think is the thing you have to learn through example, is that when stuff starts to disintegrate, when stuff starts to not work so well, it doesn't go slowly. It tends to go very, very quickly, that it falls apart. And for me, I'm like, I'm driving, one place, I'm hanging out, doing some work for a little while. And in the course of about 4 hours, everything fell apart. And I drove to the ER. And if I had just hung out for another 6 hours, I'd be dead. But legitimately dead. That's where things were going. So when your body starts to say, I've had a fucking enough, it isn't slow. It's not a slow process. It goes quick. So, you don't want to be a hypochondriac or anything like that. But if things seem wrong, it's probably better to err on the side of getting some help quick. Because if you don't, everything can go to hell really, really fast. So that's what happened to me. So anyway, sorry for the long lead in this entire thing, but I did scare a bunch of you. The thing that shocked me was I posted this video saying, hey, I'm going to the doctor, and kind of gave some of my thoughts on the matter. And when I read the responses, which is about, I was in the hospital for like 2 days. When I read the responses to this thing, I was shocked. Because all these people were saying, I hope you're doing okay. I hope, I hope you get better. I was surprised by that. I was expecting most of the people to say, hey, fuck you, Perch. That's what I was expecting. I mean, Mumbles still did a Mumbles thing, but by and large, everybody was saying nice shit. I hope you're okay. I'll be honest, I didn't think any of you gave a shit about me like that. So that was very thoughtful. I warmed my cold little dark heart. So thank you very much. Anyway, I made the point in this commentary that I did around, maybe we all should give each other a break. And I still kind of feel, I still think that's accurate advice. I think that by and large, in comics, I mean, here's the thing I'm often struck with. And keep in mind, this is coming from the perspective of a guy who sold comics in a shop for many, many years, who still believes that he's going to sell comics in a shop again someday. I do love that. I love the idea of getting these stories and handing them to customers and taking that money and building a business around this. I think that's a really cool thing. It's an admirable thing. So I hope to continue to do this, and maybe that's my perspective. Being a retailer, that's where I'm coming from. But by and large, I think that it's better if we assume the best of people rather than the worst. And I think this is an area in comics that we often kind of fuck up, where we assume, if you're a creator, you assume that the people who don't like your comics are the worst people in the world. Now, if you are, I don't know, I'm not going to pretend to understand people who are born, say, after the year 2000. And they may look at, they look at things differently. It's a different generation. But if you were born before the year 2000, let's say, if you are called a racist, if you're called a bigot, if you're called a homophobe, if you're called any of those kind of names, those are kind of some of the worst things in the world. Those are awful people. And so you don't take that lightly. There was a time period, and a pretty long time period, where you wouldn't call somebody a racist unless you are goddamn sure they are a racist. You just, because calling somebody a racist is pretty serious. Like, that's an ugly, ugly, awful thing. Today that's incredibly casual. And the thing that strikes me is, I talked about kind of the Little Mermaid. They've cast a black actress to be the Little Mermaid, and you look at that and you go, hey, by all accounts, that person, the person they cast to be the Little Mermaid, she can sing great. She sang at WrestleMania. That's where I first came across her. Her voice is awesome. Like, I don't, again, unless you are a true racist, you listen to this woman sing, it's incredible. She's very good at what she does. If the Little Mermaid is intended to be a musical, then you're like, wow, yeah, that's pretty goddamn good singing. You would definitely, if it was a cartoon, you would cast this person without even thinking about it. She's a great singer. So I look at this and I go, people who are objecting to the Little Mermaid, are they all racist? I mean, I think we should be really careful before we call them that. I don't think it's good to be casual in calling people racist. I think you should be pretty goddamn sure that the person is actually a racist before you call them a racist, because that's an ugly, horrible thing. People don't come back from that. If you call somebody a bigot, a homophobe, all the rest, I mean, those are pretty serious accusations. I think you should be sure. And so I don't take that casually. And so I look at this world of comics, and to me, again, take this from a person who's been selling comics off and on for 30 years, somebody who's loved comics, who's read thousands of comics. I have no idea who you are, the person listening to this right now, but I'm pretty sure I've read more comics than you. I can say that, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be true for 95% of you. There will be some people, like, if Eric Breen is listening to this right now, then fuck it. Eric Breen has definitely listened to more. He's read more comics than me, no doubt about it. Eric has got me beat. But most of you, I'm betting I've read more comics than you. I've sold definitely more comics than you. Again, 99%. Unless there's some retailers listening to this, I guarantee I've sold more volume of comics. I can't say I've created more comics, so obviously I haven't, but I've drawn pages. I still am working on my comic, 3 past midnight. See, now I'm half drunk here right now and writing this. I'm not, though, because I can't drink. This is my nightmare. I can't drink while I'm on this medication getting healthy. So I'm fucking sober. It's terrible. Anyway, um, I'm working on my comic. I'm at 116 pages of 120 pages. I'm very excited. And then when I get to 120 pages, I get it colored, and then it's going to go. It's going to be a blitz. I'm going to be one of those annoying YouTubers. It's going to be like the beginning of every video. It's like, don't forget to buy my comic. I won't do that. But anyway, I'm very excited. This comic is getting close. It's within a hair's breadth. One of the benefits of being sick is I get to stay home and just like obsess over a panel and a comic. Anyway, I'm having fun. And what's nice about this, when I put this out, then Zach over there, your boy Zach, is going to say, hey, I did this video once upon a time where I said Perch is a shitty artist. And his art is pretty good. He's going to say it. I guarantee you. He's going to say it. One of the surprises I've had over the last 2 years is getting to be, I don't know what a friend is where you never meet the person, but I've gotten to be on good terms with Zach, which is a surprise to me. I never would have expected that, but it's been good talk. It's been good to have discussions with people. I don't think I've ever said that in public, so there you go. So the secret is revealed. Anyway, I love comics. I love selling them. I love reviewing them. I love reading them. I love making them. All those things are true. Comics are meant to be about happiness, about having a good time. And so it hurts. It hurts a little bit to see so much bullshit around comics. So much. It's why, people will say to me, hey, Perch, why do you, why, what is going on with why you think that, like, why don't you admit that Disney is a woke company, all this kind of stuff. And the reality is, I think comics are still meant to be fun. And all this nonsensical bullshit that keeps coming into comics is the opposite of fun. It's the opposite of making good things, doing good things. It's backwards. And I know that doesn't stop anything. I know that because look at the reality. You got people with 50,000 subs, 100,000 subs, 200,000 subs. If you want to be popular and make money on comics, the best thing to do is to talk about how Captain Marvel is a lesbian woke bitch who's fucking around, and you get like Disney is trying to take money from you with diversity and inclusion and ESGs and all the rest of that kind of shit, and you say stupid shit, and you get stupid people who respond to you and like your videos, and on you go. That's what makes you money. As long as I'm pissing people off, it's like, look, if you're doing videos about how Amber Heard is a miserable cunt, and Johnny Depp is, a poor victim in all this, you're going to get a lot of success and a lot of people subscribing to your shit because that's what people like. And it's fine. It's fine. I don't know that any of that is true. Who cares? Really, at the end of the day, Johnny Depp is worth millions of dollars, and he's going through a hard time right now. But he'll be in movies again, and he'll have a comeback. And People Magazine will talk about how awesome his abs are and everything else, and he'll be fine. And so Amber Heard can't act for shit, so I don't know where she's going to go. Whether it's fair or not fair. If you're a female actress with no discernible talent, you've got about a 5-year window of success, and then you're going to fade into obscurity. And that's where Amber Heard is heading. Nobody's got to give a shit about Amber Heard. But, this is what makes videos popular. This is what makes this aspect of YouTube popular. But the reality is, comics are intended to be fun. That's why we're supposed to read them. They're supposed to be good enjoyment. You're supposed to be able to plop down your 75 cents, $1.25, $1.95, $2.50, $2.95, $3.95, $4.95. See, I've been a retailer. I've kept track of all this shit. If you're meant to kind of plunk down that money, and then in the end, get something you enjoy. That's what it's meant to be about. And all the rest of this stuff is just. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's commentary, like the person who wrote in a while ago who talked about lolcows and everything else. that can be a different kind of fun. But I hope that for all of us, we can get back to the point where you just reading a comic, you don't feel bad about the money you spent, and it's relatively enjoyable. And that's, at the end of the day, what comics are. That's all they're really meant to be. They're not meant to be really more or less than that. They're just meant to be kind of fun. And that's what I hope out of comics. So I apologize for the esoteric, kind of more rambly thought process. I'm hoping Mumbles has a really good, zinger that can come out of this. Please, let's hear what you have to say, what kind of roast you can give. But having gone through all this, having gone through the fear, and it is fear when you're laying in a hospital, wondering if you can breathe. It is scary. Anybody's telling you it's not. If you're like, I don't worry about that shit. The bravado is nice, but you know, everybody, whether you're a man or a woman or whatever you are, those kind of situations shake you. So that's where I'm at. I think that comics they're enjoyable. They're meant to be fun. They're meant to be, people are going out there telling the story. Sometimes they succeed, sometimes they don't. Hopefully you feel good about the money you spend. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And, it can just be that way. I don't know if there's a secret cabal within Disney, within Warner Media, within Image, whoever, who are trying to create kind of the, Illuminati of SJW woke, New World Order, or whatever it happens to be. Maybe they are. For what it's worth, the people I worry about are the politicians, the lawyers, the judges. Those are people I worry about instituting an ideology on others. I worry about the teachers. I worry about what they're telling people in the classrooms. The people I don't worry about are comic creators. I mean, for Christ's sake, you can just not buy the comic. It may hurt. Somebody who's collected the X-Men for decades now, it hurts when it is a flaming pile of shit that you're having to read. But at the end of the day, that's at least something we can control as fans, as readers, and everything else. And even with all the videos, and you can go lots of channels, and you can hear people talking about the fall of all comics and everything else. Every single week, there's at least one comic I enjoy. Usually more than that, but there's always one that provides a good, entertaining story. And sometimes I go and I'm like, wow, this writer is great. They told an amazing story here. There's some independent, comic from Boom. This is great. And I go look up the writer on Twitter. I'm like, this guy, whoever this is pretty good. I'll go see what they're up to. And I go to Twitter, I put their name in, and sure enough, I'm blocked. Yeah, this writer blocked me. Why did they block me? I don't know. I've never heard of this writer before. But, I was part of a blockchain or some random dumb shit that this person did. And I always think like, well, that sucks. I enjoyed this comic. I legitimately thought this was a great story. And I would have happily posted a little tweet going, hey, I really had a good time reading this comic by, so-and-so. I would say Ryan North. No, I'm not enjoying anything Ryan North is doing. But anyway, I'm enjoying this comic by this writer. But I'm blocked. And so I'm like, well, yeah, I need to post that tweet. Whatever. And, I half the time I still read the comic. Half the time I get irritated. I'm like, well, this person blocked me. I'm not going to support them anymore. And I don't read the comic anymore. And every now and then I think what a waste. What a pathetic waste. Here's a comic I legitimately enjoy by a creator who I didn't know. When I went to go look up that creator, I found out that they blocked me for reasons I have no idea. Who knows? For a while, I followed this a Twitter personality, Just Some Guy. Right? I followed that Twitter account. And apparently, if you follow that Twitter account, you're a horrible racist if you follow him. Now, I think what Just Some Guy is, I don't, whoever that person is, I've never met him. I don't know what his name is. I don't know anything about him other than the Twitter handle. But I got the impression he's not white. But apparently, following him means you're a racist. So I don't know. And who knows? Am I glued to Twitter all day? Hell no. So it's quite possible that just some guy has tweeted things like, I hate all black people. I wish slavery would come back. I have no idea. Maybe he is. I don't know. But somewhere along the line over the last 5 years, and I'll be honest, I don't even remember what it was. He posted something. I'm like, well, that's funny. I'll follow this person. So anyway, I know that because I followed him, I got put on a blockchain that got me blocked by a bunch of comic creators. All right. Again, I don't know what he did. I don't know what I did. But that's where we are. And everything I've just described the last 2 minutes or so with Twitter and blocks and everything else is stupid. It's stupid as hell, right? What does this have to do with enjoying a comic? I have no fucking idea. I know there's a decent amount of comic creators who listen to this channel. And I guess, like, again, it's Twitter. So who gives a fuck anyway? But my comment to you guys is like, you see how stupid this all this shit is stupid. Like, I kind of wish everybody could just like take a pause. Like, this is where you wish Twitter would just go bankrupt and fold, and we could all just start over. Because at the end of the day, I just want to read your comics and enjoy them. That's all. And hopefully, you're having a good time. You're getting paid. I'm having a good time. I'm paying. I'm enjoying. And that's what it gets to be. When you're laying in a hospital bed, looking up the ceiling, wondering if you're going to be able to, sustain yourself breathing while you're waiting for somebody to come down and put a plastic mask over your face to help you breathe, you kind of get to thinking, I just want to enjoy comics. For fuck's sake, that's all I really want to do. I don't know. Listen, thank you all for the kind wishes. I appreciate it. I don't know who the fuck is listening to this video at 20 minutes in, but thank you very much for the kind thoughts. You don't know me, I don't know you, but I'm this random voice out on the internet. At some point this channel ends. I don't know. I start to spend more time with my kids. Who knows? But I really appreciate you guys wishing me well. It touched me. I don't know what to say. Thank you. Thank you. It means something to think that you guys give a shit about this random voice on the internet. I appreciate it. Thanks for everything. Thanks for listening.